Chapter 1: An unlikely encounter. The crisp autumn air carried the scent of roasted chestnuts from a nearby street vendor as busy New Yorkers hurried along Fifth Avenue. Businessmen, tourists, and socialites weaved through the crowded sidewalks, their designer coats and polished shoes starkly contrasting with the worn-out figure sitting near the curb. Daniel Carter, a former Marine, sat hunched on a tattered piece of cardboard, his back pressed against the cold stone of a high-end boutique. His once sturdy combat boots were frayed, barely holding together with knotted shoelaces. His fingers, rough and calloused from years of hardship, clutched a battered coffee cup that rattled with a few meager coins. A sign beside him read, "Homeless Veteran. Anything helps. God bless." Pedestrians passed by, barely sparing him a glance. The world had moved on, leaving him behind. He wasn't sure how much longer he could keep going. His stomach rumbled from hunger, but he had learned to ignore it. Hunger was easier to bear than the weight of his memories. Then, something changed. A black SUV with dark-tinted windows pulled up to the curb. Secret Service agents stepped out, scanning the area with trained precision. People on the sidewalk paused, their curiosity piqued. Within seconds, a familiar figure emerged from the vehicle. Donald J. Trump. Dressed in a sharp navy suit and an unmistakable red tie, the former president strode forward with his usual air of confidence. His presence alone commanded attention, and whispers rippled through the crowd. Some took out their phones, eager to capture whatever was about to unfold. Daniel didn't react at first. He had seen wealthy men before. They walked past him daily, oblivious to his existence. But then, something unexpected happened. Trump stopped. Not a glance. Not a passing acknowledgement. He stood still, looking directly at Daniel. The surrounding noise seemed to fade, leaving only the two of them in the moment. Chapter 2: A simple question. The Secret Service agents stiffened as Trump crouched down, bringing himself to eye level with Daniel. This wasn't part of the schedule. This wasn't planned. "What's your story?" Trump asked, his voice devoid of the usual bravado he carried at rallies or press conferences. Daniel hesitated. Was this some kind of joke? A publicity stunt? But something about the way Trump looked at him, not with pity, but curiosity, made him speak. "Served in the Marines," Daniel said, his voice hoarse. "2 tours in Afghanistan. Came back, things fell apart. VA waitlists too long. Couldn't keep up with rent. Ended up here." Trump nodded, taking in the information. He had heard stories like this before, but this was different. This wasn't a headline or a statistic. This was a man who had served his country, now abandoned by the very system that promised to take care of him. Then, in a move that stunned the onlookers, Trump reached into his pocket and pulled out a thick stack of $100 bills. He handed it to Daniel without hesitation. "That's for tonight," Trump said. "But I'm not done." Chapter 3: The Unexpected Offer. The murmurs around them grew louder. Some people clapped. Others recorded, their cameras capturing the moment in real time. "You ever wanted to work again?" Trump asked, standing up and adjusting his suit. Daniel blinked in surprise. "Of course." Trump turned to one of his aides. "Find him a place to stay. Tonight. No questions. Then get him to Trump Tower first thing in the morning." The aide, though visibly surprised, nodded quickly and pulled out his phone. Daniel's voice wavered. "Why are you doing this?" Trump smirked. "Because America doesn't leave its soldiers behind. And neither do I." Chapter 4: The nation reacts. By nightfall, the internet exploded with videos and headlines. Trump's unexpected gesture stuns New York. Former president lifts homeless veteran off the streets. Was this just a PR stunt or something more? Social media was divided. Some praised Trump's generosity, calling it a display of true leadership. Others dismissed it as nothing more than a calculated move for publicity. Meanwhile, Daniel sat in a luxury hotel room for the first time in years, staring at a neatly folded suit laid out for him. On the bedside table was a handwritten note. "Daniel, your country owes you better. Let's fix that. Meet me at Trump Tower at noon, Donald J. Trump." For the first time in years, Daniel felt hope. Chapter 5, A New Beginning. When Daniel arrived at Trump Tower the next day, he was led into a boardroom where Trump was already waiting. "Here's the deal," Trump said, leaning forward. "I'm launching a new veterans initiative. I don't want bureaucrats running it. I want someone who knows what it's like. Someone who's lived it." Daniel's hands shook slightly. "Are you offering me a job?" Trump nodded. "Not just a job. A mission. Help me get more vets off the streets." Daniel, a man who had been cast aside, was suddenly given purpose again. Epilogue: The legacy. Months later, Operation Second Chance was launched, helping thousands of homeless veterans across the country find housing, jobs, and mental health support. Daniel became the face of the initiative, speaking at rallies and advocating for those who had been forgotten. When asked about the moment that started it all, Trump simply shrugged. "America takes care of its own," he said. "It's about time we start acting like it." And with that, a single encounter on a New York sidewalk turned into a nationwide movement no one saw coming. The end.